Becoming a YouTuber can be so hard, but it can be hugely rewarding as well. This year I became a YouTuber and I'm having a blast. What I want to do in this video is I want to point out some of the challenges that I think you're going to face if you also embark on becoming a YouTuber. So the challenges that I faced, the number one big one for me was fear of talking to a camera. Now, there are some things you can do to help with this, but I can almost guarantee you, if this is not something you're used to doing, talking to a camera, you'll likely run into this as well as being a challenge. So when I first pressed record and started talking to the camera, I would get lost. I'd get stuck. It's like I forgot what I was going to say, or even if I get half a sentence in, I wouldn't even get a full sentence in. I get half a sentence in and I trip over my words, I'll stop. And that's... You know, it's just a matter, you have to go through that, I think. You've got to fail before you succeed. You have to fail, fail, fail. And I know there's a saying there, fail forward or something. Anyway, the more you fail, apparently the more you're learning. But actually it's true, it really is. And practice, you just have to practice it. Practice talking to a camera, and that might mean, you know, pressing record, making a short video, maybe just decide that you're going to talk about something, like identify a topic, talk about walking on a snowy trail or whatever, and what you like about it, what you don't like about it. It's awfully cold out here. It's -8 degrees Celsius. First snowfall of the year though. Anyways, decide you're going to talk about something, press record, talk about it for 5 minutes, stop it, watch it back. You're probably going to hate it, but it's getting you used to talking to the camera, and the next time you do it, it'll be better. So, I mean, there's a challenge you could do. If you're really struggling with this, do a 14-day or even better, like a month, like 30-day challenge where you do one of these videos every day and just see how you improve in time. You will, I guarantee it. If you want to accelerate that, maybe do 2 videos a day. So anyways, that's the number one thing that most people run into, and I certainly have, and it's just a matter of practicing through it. The second big challenge is dealing with slow growth. So I say I became a YouTuber this past year. I've in fact been making YouTube videos for 4 years, but I didn't consider myself a YouTuber until this past year. When I really went for it. But the growth was slow, and when the growth is slow, and it's agonizingly slow in the beginning, like my first month, I think I got 3 subscribers for the whole month, and that was making 9 videos. That's super slow. And in fact, I quit. I gave it up for, I think, 8 months. Like actually, I quit 3 times. 3 times I quit YouTube over the last 4 years, until these last, I'm gonna say 8 months, is when I decided, no, we're going. It's the best decision I ever made when it comes to YouTube. So if you can do that, if you can deal with the slow growth and not let it get you down, don't define success early on by your growth numbers, however you want to measure it. Number of views that you're getting, number of subscribers you're getting, watch hours that you're getting. Try not to use those metrics to define the growth of your YouTube experience. I mean, that might be the way to quantify the growth of your channel, but if you're practicing the whole time and you keep making videos, I mean, you're going to get better. And unfortunately, there's no real way to measure that. The growth of your channel comes later, and it comes organically, and it's amazing when it happens. The third challenge I want to talk about is posting consistently. A lot of people have trouble posting consistently, and the main reason is the lack of ideas. They run out of ideas. If you don't know what to talk about, you're gonna procrastinate, and then you're not gonna make a video. So like I mentioned, that 14-day, 15-day, whatever, 30-day challenge of talking to a camera, you might think it's gonna be awfully hard to come up with that many days worth of topics. And in fact, if you do go through an experiment like that, that will actually help you develop your creative thinking skills and coming up with new things to talk about. Once your channel gets going, that part of it gets easier, because as your channel grows, you'll get more and more comments and questions from people in the comments section, and those will help you come up with ideas for your next video. If somebody asks you a question, if several people ask you a question, the same question over and over again, well, then maybe that's the video you should make. The other thing is, by making videos, you will generate more ideas as you go. Like me just walking here and talking through this, other things are popping into my head that I could be making videos about. And when I get back to the office and I edit this, still more ideas are going to pop into my head. So that part of it becomes easier once you get going. But that is a hurdle that a lot of people struggle with. The next challenge that a lot of people have a real problem with is dealing with negative comments and how to do that, because that's going to happen. The more you put yourself out there on YouTube, unfortunately, just the way people are in this world, not everybody, and not even most people, but a lot of people, enough people that it's upsetting, are out there and will put you down. They'll criticize your video. They'll criticize you. But and dealing with that it can be hard. And some people are much better at dealing with things like that than others. I've taught myself to just have a thick skin, and just some things I choose to think about along those lines. Like when somebody posts a negative comment about me or the videos I make, it's not about me, it's about them. Either they're trying to project knowledge out to the world, maybe that's the case, and that's fine. Or some people, maybe they even feel better about themselves if they can put other people down. And that's sad, but it's a reality. But as soon as you can recognize that and understand that the problem is not yours, the problem is actually the commenters, and the fact that they will likely not be back anyways, so you could just delete the comment if it makes you feel better, or block them from ever commenting again. That's well within your right as a channel owner. However you choose to deal with it, just know that it is something that you may have to deal with. But just know the problem is not yours, it's theirs. The fifth challenge that I run into a lot, and that you may run into too, is balancing your YouTube and with your life. So a lot of people, when they start YouTube, you can't start YouTube and have it be your job right away. And if you need income, if you're not retired comfortably and you need to be making money to live, you can't just give up your job and start YouTube. It doesn't work that way. It takes quite a bit of time and effort to grow a YouTube channel to the point where it can be a full-time income. Happens faster for some than others, but it can happen for anybody. But so until that time comes, you have to balance YouTube with your work life, but you also have to balance it with your personal life, your family, your friends. Like, don't discount them. Don't just squirrel yourself away in a cave and just make videos and just think about your channel all the time, like I'm sometimes guilty of doing. There has to be a balance, and it's really whatever makes you happy. Some people are happy squirreled away in their office and working on their business, their channels, but some people are not. And if things start kind of falling down around you, then maybe you're spending too much time in the office, and it's time to come out from there and get back into your life. What would be ideal is if your YouTube and your life can kind of coexist and even overlap, and that might even make it more fun. So that's something I work on, and something you can expect to maybe have to deal with in the future. Now, there's a bunch of other ideas. I don't want this video to be long, but I'm just going to list them on the screen here. There's a whole bunch of other ideas or other challenges that you could run into, and maybe some of these are more applicable to you. But there's one other thing I wanted to mention about me, and then maybe you run into this too. And this is something that I just ran into like 2 days ago. I've got two main locations where I film. Actually three. So one is outside here on the trail. Another one is in the corner of my office, where I have a kind of a cozy corner set up with a leather chair and stuff like that. And then the third one is at my desk, which is where I usually am when I do live streams. But every once in a while, I'll make a video that is in none of those places, but it's still indoors. It's a set. So a couple days ago, I made this holiday video, put on a Santa hat, and I set up in front of our Christmas tree and tried to get Peanut, my cat, to cooperate and sit there with me throughout the video. And just setting that whole thing up to me was a challenge. I had to get my lights out of my office, had to bring them upstairs to the living room and set them up. I had to get some stools out. I had to set up the camera, frame the shot the way I wanted it to. all this takes time. And it would be really helpful if you could set up a permanent area where you make your videos, someplace that is very comfortable to just kind of plop yourself down, turn on the camera and the lights or whatever, they're already set up for you, and go. But if you want to be a little more mobile and make videos in other places, then you're going to run into some of the things that I ran into the other day. Like, you know, it just took me probably 5 times longer to make that video than most of my videos because of the setup. I put a chair there for Peanut to sit on. She's too low. She's not in the frame, so I needed to get a taller stool. There was a present I wanted to unwrap in the video. I had to wrap it. You know, there's a whole lot of thought that kind of goes into when you want to make something a little different like that. But it was fun. So that's my main point here, is you got to have fun doing this. And if you do, it can be truly rewarding. Now, a lot of you might want to do these YouTube videos because you want to make money. You watch videos, likely, on YouTube of people telling you how much money you can make. And, you know, that's all well and good. And it's possible in a lot of cases. A lot of cases, not so much. They're kind of clickbaity, but I'm here to tell you that you can make a living at this if you really want to. It takes a lot of work, but if you can make your work fun, and if you enjoy it, then is it really work? I would argue that it's not. It becomes a hobby then. And if you enjoy it, the whole act of making videos, recording them, whether they're outside or inside, excuse me, whoa, oh, I just tapped the microphone. And so this is a little bit of rough around the edges too. And that's okay. So one of the ones that I've listed is video editing. That's a challenge for a lot of people. I wasn't really going to talk about it in this video, but too late. I think this video is already too long. Let's just keep going. Video editing is a huge challenge, but it doesn't have to be. There are some things you can do to make it less challenging, and one of those things is just leave your mistakes in your videos, like I'm likely going to do here. Go ahead, make a video, leave your mistakes in. That means there's less editing for you to have to do. If you just keep things simple, then things will go a lot easier. And that goes with pretty much anything to do with this. That's it. That's all I got to say. My name's Rob. If this was your first time here, then welcome. It was nice to meet you, and thanks for coming on this walk with me. And we'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye.